Hello, everyone. Hello, grade 9s. Welcome back to our second lesson for today. I hope you are all good. So remember, we are continuing with our history topic that we started yesterday, which is World War II. So this topic we're going to finish tomorrow because remember, it's only revision. Okay, so what is our objective for today? We're going to look at the outbreak of World War II in Europe. If you can see that picture, what can you see from that picture? What's happening from that picture? What's happening in that picture? Yes, Tabile. Just type for me, Tabile. What can you see? From Nosipo, I see the military marching. And then on Kabetse, soldiers marching. That's very good. So those were the soldiers that were marching during the World War II in Europe. Okay, we just want to quickly recap on what we did yesterday. Remember, we looked at the rise of Nazi Germany, and we also looked at those subtopics. You do remember from yesterday. That's what we did for yesterday. The rise of Nazi Germany. And then, before we start our topic for today, we just want to revise the previous activity that you did yesterday, the homework that I gave you. Did you manage to do the homework? Did you do your homework, grade 9s? Max saying yes. Others, did you do your homework? I hope you have your homework with you so that you can correct your work. Make sure you have your activity for yesterday with you now so that we can revise together. Okay. Tando is saying yes. Okay, that's good if you did your work. Okay, let's start by looking at question 1. Question 1, explain the following historical concepts. What is the Holocaust? Which answers did you write for the Holocaust? Which answers did you come up with? Okay, so let's just go through. What was the Holocaust? The mass murder of Jews under the German Nazi regime. And then we go to the Enabling Act. What was the Enabling Act? This was the law that gave Hitler the power to change the constitution. It was called the Enabling Act. I hope you are correcting your work. I can see from Tando, destruction or slaughter on a mass scale. Okay, that's good. You are referring to the Holocaust. That's correct. So make sure you are doing your corrections there. Just give you 1 minute to look at the answers. From Tando, okay. From Nosipo, Holocaust means totally banned, refers to intentional and system killing of Jews by the Nazis. That's good, Nosipo. Okay, let's move on to question 2 so that we don't waste time. The question for number 2, in a paragraph, explain how the Treaty of Versailles caused World War II. Which answers did you come up with? So remember, in history, you have to follow the instruction of the question. When they say write a paragraph, it should be a paragraph. Are we together? So my answer, I just put in point form there, the answer. So you were supposed to write something related to that. It was unfair to Germany, resulting in alienation of German people. Sorry about that. So your answer must be related to that for question 2. It led to the rise of fascism in Germany, Tando. Okay, that's good. That's good, Tando. So yes, question 2. Okay, we move on to the next question. Question 3. So what was question 3? Write a short paragraph about the Nuremberg laws. Which answers did you come up with? So you were supposed to write another short paragraph. So the answer, I hope you wrote something related to this. These were laws passed by Germany to discriminate against the Jews. So they were called the Nuremberg laws. Question 3, from Tando. There were anti-Semitic and racist laws in Nazi Germany. It also forbade marriages between Jews and Germans. Oh, that's very good, Tando. It shows that you did your work. So that is the answer for question 3. So those were the Nuremberg laws. Any more answers? Did you write something similar to that? Okay. Okay, and then I gave you key terms to research yesterday. You were supposed to research on these words or terms. They are very important. You are supposed to know them. Did you research? From Nosipo, hatred of the Jews was not a new thing in Europe. It existed for hundreds of years. Oh, that's good. From, okay, that's from Nosipo. Okay. I gave you the key terms to research yesterday. Did you research the terms? Red Knight? From Nosipo, yes. Oh, that's good. So let's go through the key terms. The first one, we have the armistice. What is an armistice? An agreement between enemies to end war. It's called an armistice. What is to dictate? So you correct your answers if they are not similar to mine. Just correct. Okay, what is to dictate? Give commands or orders. Remember, Hitler was a dictator. So he was giving commands and orders to people. And then we go and look at the what was called the swastika. Have you ever seen the symbol of the Nazi Party? It was the symbol of the Nazi Party. I forgot to paste the symbol here. I wanted you to recognize it. Have you ever seen it? An armistice is a formal agreement of warring parties to fighting. Okay, it's from, where's that one? From Tando. Okay, Tando, that's good. So I was asking, have you ever seen a swastika? A swastika is the symbol of the Nazi Party. Have you ever seen it? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, that's good. So you know it. And then there's this thing called a coup. A coup. Let me just, okay. A coup. It's a French word also used in English for violent overthrow of government. So it's also used in English, but it's a French word, which means to overthrow a government using violence. And then we go to the next word. Is it push? It's Germany, sorry. So it's German word for violence. So these two, they are similar. Push and coup. It's only that coup is French and this one is German. And then we go to Reichstag here. This is a German word for parliament. It's called a Reichstag. We go to propaganda. Propaganda refers to biased information. It refers to biased information. Did you manage to write the same thing, or is totally different from my answers? Okay, yes, okay, thank you. Or same thing, no SIPO, okay, JJ, okay, thank you. Okay, and then we move on to the other terms. Here we've got Reich. What is Reich? It was a German state found in Germany. Reich state. And then Holocaust, we already know this, the mass killing of Jews by Nazi government. Holocaust. And fascists, we looked at this yesterday, a political theory that the government should have complete control. Remember, fascist is opposite of democracy. And then Lebensraum, German word meaning space to live in. So some of these words we're going to look at them in this topic for today. That's why I asked you to research yesterday. What is genocide? I think you've heard of this word many times on the TV, during news. Genocide is happening. What does it mean? It simply means mass murder, killing people, many people is called genocide. And then we've got this word, the death squads in Germany, the Einsatzgruppen. Those were the death squads within the Nazi party. And then the final solution, it was the name of Nazi German plan for the systematic killing of European Jews. It was called the final solution. So those were the key terms I asked you yesterday to research. Okay, and then today, this is our topic for today. You can see it's written revision of term 1. So we're going to look at World War II in Europe. What was happening in Europe during World War II? So under this topic, we're going to look at the following subtopics. We're going to look at the Nazis' foreign policy for Lebensraum, the outbreak of World War II, Axis and Allies, the extermination camps, genocide, the Holocaust, and the final solution. Examples of resistance to Nazism in Germany, and the end of World War II in Europe. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So let's start by looking at the Nazis' foreign policy for Lebensraum. What was that foreign policy? Do you still remember from term 1? What was the Lebensraum policy or Lebensraum law? Okay, I asked you a question. What were the Lebensraum laws? What was happening? Okay, Haley is saying, ma'am, please go back. Okay, to the previous folder. Okay, I'll do that. Remember, we're just going through, it's a revision. You did this in term 1. I'll just go back. Okay, is it fine here? Today's topic. So we're going to look at these 5 subtopics under World War II in Europe. Haley, are you fine now? Can I move on? Yes, ma'am. Okay, that's good. You're sorted now. Okay, so I was asking about the foreign policy for Lebensraum. What do you understand by that? What was the Lebensraum policy? Okay, I can see your name, but your response is laws for Germans to live in or space or land to live on. Oh, that's good. Anyone else? What do you understand about the Lebensraum policy? So the Nazis wanted Germany to expand into the rest of Europe. So they said Germany needed Lebensraum. So Lebensraum, remember we looked at the word on our key terms. To conquer more Europe. Oh, that's good. Living space from Nosipo. Oh, that's very good. Okay, so they wanted more living space. That was the Lebensraum. the Lebensraum policy, more living space. So what did Hitler do to come up with this Lebensraum policy? He developed an aggressive foreign policy to obtain more land and kill or enslave non-Germans. So the aggressive foreign policy was included in the Lebensraum laws. It was an aggressive foreign policy to kill more people and to occupy more land. Hitler could not achieve his aims without strong armed forces. Therefore, they decided to rearm secretly. So he looked for help from the military so that he could achieve his aim to expand into the rest of Europe. So he wanted to do it secretly. Remember, Germany was being punished from the Treaty of Versailles. So Hitler had a plan to do it secretly so that other countries wouldn't find out. Are we fine now for this one so that we can move on? From Nosipo, yes. Others, are you fine? Okay, oh, that's good. So that was the foreign policy for Lebensraum. Okay, and then we look at the outbreak of World War II, the Axis and the Allies. So there was the implementation of the Lebensraum concept, which resulted in European powers to divide into Axis and Allied powers. So European powers divided into Axis and Allied powers. So what were the Axis powers? These were countries that supported Germany during World War II. And these were Japan, Italy, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Finland, and Thailand. So these countries were called Axis powers. They supported Germany during World War II. And then the Allied powers, these ones. These countries supported Britain and France during World War II. And these were USA, Russia, and other countries. There were about other 47 countries that were supporting Britain and France. So they were called the Allied powers. So always remember, Axis, they supported Germany. And you have to remember the countries. And the Allied powers, they supported Britain and France. And we have to remember the countries also. Are you fine with this one? I don't want to be fast. Should we move on from the Axis and Allies? Can we move on? Okay, let's move on. And then we look at the extermination camps, genocide, the Holocaust, and the final solution. The Nazis used extermination camps and genocide to deal with political opponents and punish other undesirable people. It was very bad. So from that picture, you can see that picture is showing the map of the extermination camps, the concentration camps, and the main cities. Okay, let's start by looking at the extermination camps with this skull. These are the extermination camps that were established. All of those ones, they are extermination camps. And then there were major concentration camps, the black square here, found here, and also here, and also down there. Those were concentration camps. And we have the main city with ghetto here, and there, and there, also there, and there. So this map is just showing the location of the extermination camps and the concentration camps and the main city itself. Okay, let's move on to the next. Is it fine? Move on. Okay, we can move on. Okay, here I put a picture showing Jews waiting to be taken to concentration camps. These are Jews. They were just waiting in the queue to be transported to the concentration camps. You can see small children and the women. So they were transported. Do you think children and women survived at the concentration camps? What do you think happened to the children and the women? What do you think? It was terrible. Even kids, as you can see from the picture, it was terrible. They didn't survive. No support. That's good. Tando is saying shame. Even kids. Oh, it was terrible. Did Kwashioka? Okay, that's true. They were treated very badly. They didn't survive from Tando. Oh, that's good. It's very bad. Imagine if you were a Jewish that time. How would you feel? How would you feel if you were a Jewish in that time? Sad for Mad Max. Angry, you'd feel angry. Okay. Others, how would you feel if you were a Jewish that time? I would regret being a Jew. Oh, I would fight back. Mad Max, are you sure? Were you going to fight back? They were cold and starving and sick from Chantel. That's good. How would you feel if you were a Jewish that time? Fearful and confused from Cleo. That's good. It was very bad, guys. I'm telling you, very bad. I think I would have gotten used to the circumstances. Okay, kids did not go to school, Chantel. Okay, all right. Okay, the next picture is showing us an experiment being done on a Jewish man. Imagine how horrible it was. So they were doing experiments. The doctors, the army doctors, the Nazis doctors, they were experimenting on Jewish people. Imagine. Maybe they want to just experiment. So here, like here on this picture, they were testing how far, for how long a human can last in freezing water. So, it was very bad. You can see, guys, that man is in freezing water. So they are just experimenting. How long is he going to live? It was very bad for Jewish people, very bad. It was very bad. Okay, let's move on. Here is a mass grave of dead Jewish bodies. You can see. So they were just thrown into a mass grave. It was horrible. If you see the picture, it was very, very horrible. A mass grave. Just by looking at that picture, it was very bad. No people is saying, "Oh, man, yeah, it was terrible." The Jewish people, they suffered a lot. They really suffered. Is that fish? No, it's not fish. Those are people. Those are people. The bodies are badly decomposed. They are rotten, decayed. Those are people, the Jewish people. They don't look like human beings. Yeah, they are people. Okay, and then we move on. So because of the things that were happening in Germany, because of the Nazi Party and Hitler, some people were against what they were doing. So it was called resistance. It's called resistance. So here we're going to look at this lady who started a group that was going against the Nazi Party. So she was a student at a university. So she decided to stop, or they were against what the Nazi Party was doing. She was called Sophie Scholl, and she came up with the White Rose movement, which criticized the Nazis and wanted freedom to be given to people. So that is Sophie Scholl in that picture. And then we look at the following, the next. Another resistance came from Dietrich Bonhoeffer and the Confessing Church. Confessing Church also resisted Nazi policies. So that picture is for Dietrich Bonhoeffer. He was also against the things that were done by the Nazi. And then we go and look at the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, which resulted from Jewish resistance. As you can see, those people, the Jewish people who were living in the ghettos, so they were attacked. The army, the Nazi army, they raided that ghetto community. You can see they are surrounding those Jewish people in that picture, and the army going around destroying their homes. It was terrible, as you can see from that picture. So the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising was a form of resistance which happened against the Nazi Party. And then we look at the end of World War II in Europe. How did it end? How did it come to an end? So Italy was defeated in the war, and their dictator Benito Mussolini was captured by Italian resistors and was killed. Do you remember Mussolini? Benito Mussolini? From Tando Ngubane, Mem was Sophie and Dietrich Jews? No, they were Germans. They were Germans who were against the Nazi Party. They were Germans. So they saw that, no, what Hitler was doing was very wrong. That's why they formed those resistance groups to stop Hitler. So Sophie and Dietrich were Germans. If we can just go back. So Sophie was German, and then Dietrich also, and then these ones, it was the Jewish people. Those were Jewish, the Warsaw, but they were also bringing up their resistance. Okay, so we're looking at the end of World War II. I asked about Mussolini. You still remember about Mussolini? Mussolini. So he was an Italian dictator. He was also killed in public. And also Germany was defeated and Hitler committed suicide. Hitler killed himself when Germany was defeated. And German army surrendered to the Russian army. The concentration camps were discovered by Allied soldiers and the Jews were liberated. So they were given freedom thanks to the Allied soldiers, the soldiers from those Allied powers. They liberated the Jews. Okay, so I want you to research on these terms, these 4 terms: the Geneva Convention, the internment camps, the sanctions, and the tripartite pact. Research, and then we'll go through them tomorrow. These 4, just take a screenshot or write them down, whatever you're doing, quickly, because we are coming into the lesson. We want to finish. Just research those 4 terms for tomorrow. Find out what do they mean. Okay, can I move on to the activity, homework? So our homework, okay, let's move on. So this is your homework. Those 3 questions. That is your homework. Thank you, ma'am. We are welcome, Max. So just take a screenshot or you write the questions. We only have about 4 minutes. Are you done with activity 2? Nosipo, you're done. That's good. Others? So that we can end the lesson. Mix. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Others? Yes. Okay. Oh, that's good. So we've come to the end of the lesson. Thank you so much, guys. It was a nice lesson. I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Bye.